You know, one thing about me is that I love the sunshine. I love it because it brings so much rays and joy to your life, even when you're feeling down and out. You know, I met a guy that told me he's a Trump supporter, Maga. He told me, we were having a conversation. I noticed now that, he's always quick. First, he was talking about how Trump gonna make the country and how Trump gonna do all of this, and things that happen in his life that, it ain't going the way he planned. And, now when I go into this store, he tells me, if y'all had a better candidate, let that sink in. If y'all had got a better candidate, I would have voted for that candidate. And I listened. I did. I listened. I had to listen. And I said, well, you know what? Well, what was the better candidate? He said, well, y'all should have got somebody that talked about policies, talked about things they were going to do in office. Should have talked about how they were going to get the country up and coming. Should have talked about how they were going to do relations and stuff. I said, but we did. We did. I said, but here's the catch part. And he listened. Oh, he had to hear that. He got to hear, why is it that I made our candidate such a high candidate? I said, well, she been in office a long time. I said, but you couldn't hear what she was saying because you were looking at her skin. You know how it is when a black person apply for a job and they don't get the job, or they apply for a promotion and they don't get the promotion, because you know why? Because they hire somebody that's unqualified for the job, and she can't type. She don't know policy. She just a pretty little old white girl. And here it is, black. And then they want you to train the pretty little white girl. Not all of them, but some of them. See, I've been through that. Or better yet, the qualified minority that fought its way to school, had to work and go to school. Work 8 hours, probably at a fast food place, and go to college. Then when he get out of college, he gotta fight with folks, because even though he's in the top of his class, he's still at the bottom of the boat, because people still use that, well, you know what? You know what I'm talking about. I said, well, let's get on with the black folks. She was qualified, but black folks was looking at her. She wasn't black enough. When does black enough become black enough? Let's see, her mama struggled. Her mama was from India. Her mama was same color as I am, and probably a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. Her daddy was black. Her daddy was real black. Well, I guess it's because of the region she come from. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that has something to do with it. Because I've met some black Asians now are having babies with black people. Does that make them not black? That's something interesting to think about. That's something so interesting to think about. See, because are they black enough? But wait a minute now. You got some whites that are having babies with blacks, and some of them are turning brown. Some of them can pass for white. Does that make them not black enough? I guess In order for you to be black enough, you gotta be what? I guess from the hood, or you gotta be, I guess, living in the hood, or, but anyway. So the question is that he regret his vote, but he saying we didn't have a worthy candidate. Well, let's see now. Let's see. They talked about Joe Biden, but I didn't see Joe Biden cutting folks off of food stamps or Medicaid or things like that. Obama didn't. In fact, Obama came up with the Affordable Health Care Act that people said that they didn't want to be on Obamacare. They wanted affordable health care. But it was the same. It was the same. I got to talking to him and I said, well, I said, can I ask you a question? I said, am I Samantha? Or am I this little old black woman that come up in here all the time laughing and giggling and making y'all laugh because, I be telling y'all about politics? He said, well, you my friend. I'm your friend. I said, well, if I'm your friend, can I talk to you like my friend? See, you be careful how you come to me and you ask me, am I your friend? Because see, some things you may not be ready to hear the truth. I said, am I really your friend? He said, yeah. He said, I feel like I know you. He said, I feel like that you know what? You understand me. He said, so I feel like you can tell me what, you can talk to me about anything. So I said, well, since that's the truth, now if you notice, I'm getting in the dark about this. I said, well, since it's the truth, let me tell you what I think. I said, I think you have selective black. His mouth got open with that dental plan he ain't used. I said, because you call me your friend because I come in here and I laugh with you. You call me your friend because I use this store which you patronize, that you work for, I patronize. I said, I'm your friend because I laugh and I have fun and I talk to things about things that we talk about things we don't see eye to eye. I said, but if I was really your friend, you would have thought about me when you went and pulled that lever. If I was really your friend, you would have thought about my civil rights, my health care, my reproductive system. I said, but no, you wasn't my friend, see. You became somebody I know, because you know what? I was your friend to a certain degree. Because you went and voted for your own demise. You said that we didn't have a worthy candidate. But I noticed that you didn't, when everything that you said that she didn't do, she did, but you didn't see past her skin. See, you know me, or you think you do, because you laugh and grin and giggle, we have fun together. But if you really my friend, you would have voted for my rights, my health care. You wouldn't have been so quick to say that immigrants is when has immigrants, I asked him, when has immigrants caused you to suffer? I understand there's some legal folks here and they need to be gone. Yeah, I get that. But everybody, not like this. I said, but see, you didn't see me when you did that. He said, well, you're not Hispanic. No, but I'm brown. And I know brown, they're going to try to get on down with us. I said, see, I was born in the 60s. I said, and I lived through all of this. And I'm getting old. God bless me to get old. Bless you to get old. I said, but see, you voted with your skin color. That's something that black folks always say. They say, well, you know what? I don't vote for people because they black. Maybe you should. Maybe you should, because that's how that went. That's how they went. They didn't vote for his policy. They didn't vote because he had a plan. They didn't vote because he was a good guy, because he was going to bring it out. They voted because he was white and he spoke the language that they... I said, my friends are not racist. My true friends are not. I said, so let's say this. You somebody I know. I said, but if you really want to be my friend, I said, stop looking at your skin color and look at mine. Put yourself in a situation like I would. Would you like to be discriminated against? How would it feel if your daughter was denied health care because she was told she couldn't have one of them things when something happened? Or better yet, what about me and my rights and my children and my grandkids? See, I said that's the part of voting. You don't just vote for yourself. You vote for somebody else. That was part of the American dream. So when we finished talking, he said, I agree with you. No, I don't want you to agree with me. That ain't why I told you what I told you. See, you still missed the point. I didn't tell you this for you to agree with me. I told you this for you to look inside yourself. I said, so therefore, you telling me you agree with me don't mean nothing. I said, just don't agree with me. You show it. And for all you black folks that voted for him, laughing and grinning and still think that things are going to be this way. Or better yet, you didn't vote. You didn't vote. You didn't vote at all. You know what? I'm going to tell you something that I learned all these years. See, you can bleach this. You can try to hide this. Some people pay to get this color. But at the end of the day, yours don't come off. And we need to stop trying to get away from being black and embrace it. It's our heritage. And don't just vote because you trying to get in the reindeer game. Vote for all of us. Whether they ratchet or not. Whether you don't like it or not. And for those of you who talk about black women like a dog, I promise you, and I've seen some of them, especially this guy named Tony Sotomayor, who always calling women all these names. You got a daughter. You got a mother. And instead of calling them names, reach out to them. Try to help them. Because see, some of them, look at it. Even the heavens getting happy. Because some of them wasn't raised right. And it ain't their fault. It's not their fault. Some of them wasn't raised right. And those who are raised right, it's our job to teach them and tell them. We got enough prisons for too many black men and black women and Asian men and Hispanic men who could have changed this world, but they let the wrong element get in and they became gangbangers and whatnot. See, we got a stereotype now. The question is that are we gonna put people down about it? Or we gonna call them out so they would do right? You know, even when I was in my 20s, I had it was a code that you didn't pass, and that's the code of dressing. My thing is this right here. It's not just American crisis. It's a Browner crisis. It's and what I saw the other day is when I went to the Tennessee Black Caucus, is how they was grassroots. You saw so many minorities other than blacks there seeking us for our help, asking us what can we do. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we are warriors. And we got to stop trying to act like, no, I'm going to sit this out. No, baby, you can sit it out in more ways than one. It's okay not to run to the protests. Just make sure you run to the polls and vote these bastards out.